All right, I am back. Green's Eye View. Had to take a little time off, pace myself with the stories because I don't want to run out. Trying to do it weekly might have been a little bit too much. So I'm just going to drop it when it hits me, and then I get that clear reflection in my mind. So, I made the video about my 5th grade beatdown and running into two of the cats years later as a freshman in high school. And that was at North Division High School. Well, within the first 6 weeks at North Division, I got in some trouble. So I have a great friend and mentor back then that was working at the school board. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I've always had the feeling that he pulled some strings to get me enlisted into the 220 program. So this is like 1987, I think, somewhere thereabout. And that was when they bused the inner city's kids out to the suburbs to go to school. So I landed at Franklin High School. So at Franklin High School, I'm still the same kind of cat. I'm a clown and everything. I'm not getting my work done the way I should be. And I often got called to the office, where there was this, at this school it was overwhelmingly white. And I want to say the student body was between 800 and 900 kids. I wasn't in the first class of inner city school kids being bused there, but in the second class. And when I got there, I believe there was probably somewhere around 30 inner city kids there. That's code for black, right? There might have been literally 3 Asians, and I think they were all related. And that is about all I can remember. So anyway, one of these days, and this is probably in 1988, so at this time I've been there a little while and built up a reputation for being a clown. I won't say so much a troublemaker, but teachers knew I didn't take my studies seriously. But anyway, I get called to the office in between classes. So I dart to the office real quick. It was real simple. My mother had called there to leave a message, and they passed it on to me because this is the days before cell phones and everything. They passed on the message to me. I leave, I'm on my way to class. So there's this one teacher, and I think he might have even been, I'm not sure, he might have been more than a teacher, like a guidance counselor too, but I know he was a teacher. His name was Mr. Weimer. Rumors had it in the school that Mr. Weimer owned some type of carnival. People always talked about it. I never saw it, so I have no proof of this, but I was told that he owned a carnival back then. So Mr. Weimer stops me in the hallway like, "Larry, they called you to the office. Did you go?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've already been." And he gives me that look. Like, "Did you go?" I'm like, "Man, I'm just telling you. I just told you I've already went." So Mr. Weimer grabs me, takes my arm, twists it behind my back. It's hurting me. Takes me to the office, and I'm seething. I'm so angry. I am so angry. And the vice principal name was Miss Jaworski. And Miss Jaworski came out, and she said, "He's already been here." And they see how he's got me. Nobody's really saying anything. So she's like, "Hey, he's been here," so he lets me go. Miss Jaworski saw the anger. I turn around, and I'm about to throw this right cross at Mr. Weimer. And Miss Jaworski stepped there just in the nick of time, and and she's like, "Larry, don't hit me." And I'm seething. And then everything was cool, right? Larry, you go to class. Mr. Weimer, you go back to work. No discipline for him. Don't we say nothing to him. Now, I'm telling this story. I reflected on this because as a child, especially in that era, and even now, you grow up with racism. And I always knew there was racism. But when I started thinking about it, I was like, this is the first time I think that it physically affected me. Because whether I was a clown or not, there's a lot of class clowns. And there's a lot more white class clowns at the time because the school is predominantly white. And I was like, that was specifically reserved for the black student. To twist my arm around my back and hurt me because he didn't believe me when he could have just went and checked. He could have just went to the office and checked, and if I was lying, he could have pulled me out of class. That's what he could have done. Or they probably would have just called my name again if I never showed up. He had no skin in the game. Didn't concern him at all. He just decided, this is the one I'm gonna mess with today. I don't like him. That's today's reflection. Mr. Weimer, if you're still around, you're a racist P.O.S. And I will never forgive it. Until next time, this is Green's Eye View.